From Mr. Man, which is what Olivia calls my dog. Hey, Tom, are you going to scout the UFL this year? I'll keep an eye on it, but it's not a huge priority for me, and they tend to sign somebody, so we'll be aware of who the best players are. Now, all these next couple comments you saw came in via super thanks. Super chats we do on a live show. Allows you to donate, ask questions, comment, etc. Super thanks, you can do it on demand. It's outside of live videos. Any super thanks you send in, we will give you some love and give you a shout out on the show. Marcus Arnold, $5, one of our best super thanksers, by the way. Thanks for what you do. We should trade our second-round pick for Jonathan Taylor and a sixth-round pick. The issue there, the Colts just paid Jonathan Taylor, and they have no quality backup behind him. I don't foresee the Indy having any interest in doing that. From Mr. Man again, Rochester, New York loves you and your family. Thank you, my friend. It doesn't matter if we have all pros at every position. If this team continues to be at the top of the league in penalties, we will be doomed. By the way, how many years they've been at the top of the league? Here are the numbers. I ran these just for you, my friend. Since Mike McCarthy took over, tied for second last year, tied for 8th in 2022, led the NFL in 2021, 11th in 2020. The penalty leaders in the last 4 years, it's Arizona, the Dallas Cowboys, the Browns, the Jets, and the Bills. Not exactly good company to be in. Two of those teams have had playoff success in that time frame. It's not great. From Zeno saying, just what exactly is Jerry Jones doing? Does he expect that building to the draft will work? I've been watching this team for 11 years. I have 3 playoff wins to show for it. Unfortunately, this is just what Jerry Jones does. Nothing in free agency in the hope that players will draft. You draft will automatically be insane star players. I can't stand the Eagles. At least their fan base knows that their team is going to do stuff in free agency and attempt to be a competitive football team. That is my issue. They do draft pretty well relative to the rest of the league, but you can't be great at a third of your job and expect the total results to be good. Got to do something in free agency. From Travis Vergara, one of the things that if anyone talks about, would the Cowboys be brave enough to draft Michael Penix in the first round this year if he is available? Rent a tackle for the year, let them play out under Dak, draft a starting left tackle next year. It would make sense given all the one-year deals, would gain a high comp pick for him the following year. You'd get a third-round comp pick, best case, which isn't great value there. I'll say this. That is the conversation, if they have not reached a long-term deal yet with Dak Prescott, that they should have in the war room on draft nights. If you think there is a quarterback on the board at 24 who is going to be a franchise quarterback and you're not locked in with your guy, you should take them. You should, because the quarterback spot's too important. Now, my issue with that is A, Jerry Jones said they're not going to. Who knows if he's telling the truth there or not. And maybe more importantly, B, I have a lot of doubts about the Bo Nix, Michael Penix caliber quarterback being a franchise guy. They're not bad, but I think that their path to being a top 10 quarterback like Dak is very limited. So assuming in some order, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy are off the board, would you take a quarterback in round 1 this year? It's the pinned comment on today's video. Y for yes, N for no. From Mark, Tom, Dak has a no-trade clause. Tell me how and what are the scenarios where we could trade him and get some good picks. That's what they dream, humor me, aloha. So that the trade clause causes issues where Dak has the power. And I would suspect that Dak Prescott, who is a year away from free agency himself, probably doesn't want to go to a new team and have that team give up premium assets for him. Because that makes his new team worse if the goal was to win a championship somewhere. Because if the goal was to get paid, Dak's a year away from that. He doesn't have to force his hand there. So I think the scenario would be you kind of ask Dak, hey, where do you want to go? And we'll just get what we can get for you. Because again, you screwed up the initial contract talks pretty badly, and now a year away, Dak has all the control. From Not Jeremy Chuggs' burner, is this a soft rebuild? Maybe? It's kind of like neither a rebuild nor an aggressive all-in path. They're not really doing anything. If it is a soft rebuild, they're kind of doing a bad job of it because they're just adding veterans and re-signing players and not getting younger and not moving on pieces won't be here next year. It just kind of feels like I don't know what the right word is here. It's a continuation of the status quo. That's what this is. And I don't like that. I'd rather tear it down or go be aggressive. Got a deal for you guys from Fanatics, not the Cowboys team shop, Fanatics. Chatsports.com/CowboysJam. Get the NFL Jam team shirts. Producer Chris is too young for that, which blows my mind. There's a bar in downtown that has NFL Jam. Maybe we'll go there one time. You can get Dak and Lamb, maybe some more long-term stability, Trayvon Diggs, Micah Parsons, or the throwback, the good old days, Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin. Chatsports.com/CowboysJam. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. That's chatsports.com/CowboysJam. From Merlin the Wizard, I will say this. If Steven doesn't want to pay that money to Dak, just freaking say so. Be honest and go with Lance. See if he is good or bad. Again, I would agree. Make a decision. This idea of, we'll see, I hate. I hate it. Because waiting doesn't work. Waiting only works if the player gets worse. And if you're waiting, then what are you doing? So I have no interest in going in doing nothing with Dak. I agree with Merlin. Make a decision. From Zaire Brown, trade for Adam Thielen. The Panthers are already too light on passable receivers to justify trading one away. And Thielen was much better in Carolina this year. He still doesn't offer much separation, but there was nobody else that could do anything for them. Carolina's not going to trade Thielen. They need him to make Bryce Young better. Manuel, are there any good running backs left? Cowboys are not in good shape. There is a real chance that when the Cowboys are on the board in round 2, every running back is still on the clock. And come round 3, all but maybe 1 or 2 are on the board as well. So you could draft somebody. Free agency-wise, as of filming, we'll see if Alexander Madison goes to the Raiders or not. J.K. Dobbins is out there as a kind of higher upside piece. Damian Harris, Deonta Foreman stands out to me as a good fit. He can be your stopgap. You missed on the true starting caliber guys, though. The Zach Moss interest should have been more aggressive there. Daniel M. Bring back Hankins, Gilmore, sign Simmons. Maybe Chase Young if his price tag goes down. That'd be a doomsday defense under Mike Zimmer. That's all in. We're doing this live, of course, on our Monday live show. And Chase Young just signed a 1-year deal to $13 million with the Saints. So that was remove a digit up front. Take that 1 off of being above the Cowboys' preferred price range there. So no Chase Young. I would love to get Justin Simmons on this team. I like his play. His price tag has to drop a little bit too. That's an upgrade on defense. He got better than Dante Fowler with Chase Young. Got Hankins and Gilmore back. Got a good safety. I'd have interest, but Cowboys won't go down that path most likely. From Tyler, is Dallas locked in to O-line in round 1? I would guess probably. I would be very surprised if the Cowboys didn't take an offensive lineman around. I think the board went really bad for them. Whether it's center or a left side player, I think they will be able to find one of those guys in round 1. And look, they're going to end up drafting for need, and they need an offensive lineman. So who do you want the Cowboys to draft in round 1 this year? Any position, any player, keep it some realistic names. I'd love to get Marvin Harrison Jr. It ain't going to happen. Sound off for me in the comments section. Robert, I think the Joneses are quietly rebuilding, and by all in, they mean they draft future players. Jerry straight up said they weren't going to draft a future quarterback in round 1. And he used that as the example of what do you mean by all in? I'm not going to take a quarterback who's not going to play in round 1. What they meant by all in was they are going to be all in on different guys than previous years. They're going to be all in on Micah Parsons extension, CeeDee Lamb extension. That's not what all in means. That's what they meant. And they could be quiet rebuilding, but if they are, they're doing a bad job of it. Why'd they sign Eric Kendricks? Why'd they bring back Jordan Lewis for one-year deals? Play young guys instead. Who cares if you're bad? So that's the crux of my issue. Whatever path they're pursuing, win or rebuild, they're not doing a good job of it. From Connor, we're almost there. Draft a linebacker or running back and some O-line help, as well as signing Dobbins and re-signing Gilmore, signed free agent defensive tackles. That's kind of my issue. I have 3 top 100 picks. So I'm going to get a starting linebacker, a running back, and O-line? That's not enough for me. And also, banking on 4 to 3 rookies is a lot. Also, the defensive tackle market's bad. The available guys, again, as of filming, are like Carlos Watkins is probably one of your top available DTs, bringing him back. Maybe get Calais Campbell, which seems unlikely. So I still have too many needs and not enough draft picks and or good players in free agency. From Trevor, is Jerry Jones really going to sell the team? No. Stop watching Craig Carton. The only thing that guy knows is how to defraud people from tickets. That is all he knows. The fact that they ran with, he's going to sell the team. No, he's not. Jerry's never selling the team. Laughable suggestion from Craig Carton to think that, he's going to sell. No, he's not. Stupid to even think it. That guy does not know ball at all. How they got a national show, I have no idea. Fox Sports is kind of clueless sometimes. What is your confidence level in the Cowboys front office? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. Mark, Jerry will draft a tight end. Can't believe we missed on Osiris. The issue is that was a Mike McCarthy pick, I think. Mike wanted another tight end. And the board went badly, and they kind of panicked. They drafted for need. They get into trouble when they draft for need as opposed to best player available. And that is my concern for this upcoming class. You drafted Osiris Torrance, which they did not like him. I did. They did not. We're not talking about needing a new left tackle in round 1. You're plugging in Osiris Torrance left guard, and Tyler Smith is your new left tackle. We fixed it. But they took a backup tight end. Stupid. Ecuador man, does the Dak tee shrink when it gets too hot? It's funny. I'll give him credit. It's a pretty funny one. The Diggs one will tear. That's actually too far. I shouldn't do that one. No, that's probably too far. Just be careful with the scissors one around the Michael Irving T-shirt. That one also might be too far, but it's kind of funny. Only the real ones know that one. So don't miss out on Cowboys free agency and draft coverage right here on the Cowboys Report. Hit that sub button right now. Chris B., the Saints had negative $80 million in cap and still spent more than us. Chris is right. It was actually like negative 100 almost, I think. The $13 million deal guaranteed for Chase Young, that is, of course, happened as we sit here filming this live, would be more than what the Cowboys have given out in guaranteed money in like 5 years total. From some guy, last one here. Why are we so worried about 2025 cap? I'm not a cap nerd, but also no, I'm not really convinced that's the main reason we signed no one. They, as in the organization, continues to leak out, that's what we're worried about, 2025 cap. They have a bunch of dead money. That's true. If they extend Dak, half of the dead money is no longer dead money. It's just part of the contract now. They have about $90-ish million in cap space for 2025. And some big guys are free agents. CeeDee Lamb, Tank Lawrence, Zach Martin might retire, Brandon Cooks. Okay? You can pay Micah and bring his cap hit down for 2025. Lamb and Dak don't change it that much, and you have the third most players under contract. It's an excuse at the end. In the end, it is their excuse. It's not a real reason. It's their excuse for it.